Look, they were trying to clown me because I showed up with my Ziploc bag. It got white. It got hand sanitizer, gloves, mask, mouthwash, toothbrush.
I know I got hand sanitizer right here. Got my hand lotion.
Look, ready.
They ready, so I gotta get ready. Y'all ain't gonna catch me slipping.
Okay, look. Dude, we got enough statistics after our asses already. You ain't about to add Rona. Rona ain't gonna be the one to get me.
That part.
Okay?
I cheese. Vanilla Harper. Michigan. Yeah, boy, that day.
Insecure, Issa's block party.
Ask your aunties, baby with your ex.
And South Korea blames the gays. So get your cups ready for Minoritea Report.
Hey,
guys.
How you doing?
New week, a new dollar.
Oh, okay. You're making a whole dollar.
Trying to rub these coins together.
I know that.
To get 15 cents. How's the hairspray song go?
I don't know that one.
Rubbing pennies. I got a new. I forget how it goes. I don't know. It's gonna come back to me.
Right,
it's gonna come back to me.
A whole new song up.
See,
trying to make a dollar out of 15 cents. That's the line of the hairspray song.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
I just know
the little black
coins together. I was like,
no.
I just know
it from the Tupac song that I get around. Trying to make a dollar out of 15 cents. That's the only one I know.
Yeah, because in Hairspray, the little one of the little black girls, she sings that song.
Oh, they have black kids in Hairspray?
Yeah.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
and the musical Hairspray. Yeah, because it's all about getting, like Tracy Turnblack, who was like the bigger white girl. She's like all about like the hip soul funk, and she wants to take, Negro Day, which is the one day where the black people are on TV and integrate it. So that's the whole premise of Hairspray.
I've never seen that show.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
It's cute.
You should watch it. You should watch the old one because, by this time, it'd have been a week. But what's his name?
John Travolta?
Oh gosh, I was gonna say Jerry Seinfeld, but that's not it. Jerry.
Oh yeah, the guy that passed away. He just recently passed away.
Stiller.
Yeah,
Stiller.
He was
right.
in it.
He plays the father. He's the one that plays
dad.
opposite of Divine in that movie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nope, never saw it.
It's a good one.
But for those that are watching on YouTube, hello. Thank you for subscribing. And if you could, hit the subscribe button and the bell, because every time you hit the bell, you get a notification that we got a new episode. So thank you.
Y'all can call me Auntie Remy Ma today, because that's what she's drinking.
Okay, Remy. Come on, Remy.
Auntie Remy Ma. Yeah.
You better lean back, bitch.
She got that brown liquor today.
I just got nasty as Dasani.
And I'm the one drinking wine today, so we're doing role play today, Dawon.
Well, you gotta spice it up every once in a while. If you haven't learned that in your relationships, do it at your friendships.
Yeah, look. Okay, now.
The faces.
I don't know how to take that one. No pun intended there either. How's your week going? Everyone's doing well? Is quarantine life getting to you yet?
I'm back in Minnesota, so I've decided to come home and quarantine with my family. So it's cool. It's like nice to be around like my niece and sister and nephews and my mother from time to time. But being stuck in the house with them,
that's a lot.
I didn't think that went all the way through.
That was a choice.
Yeah,
I was so caught up. Look, I was so caught up. I didn't. I was so caught up in being lonely that I forgot. I was like, dang. That takes a whole other bucket of energy to deal with your family 24/7.
Sure.
But luckily, I love my family. Don't get me wrong. I love them.
Yes.
And they just as ratchet and cutthroat as I am. So,
See,
I'm over here sharpening the tools in the shed right now. So don't worry.
You're good.
See, that's that sleepover guilt. Like when you're real little and you go to sleepover and then you cry and cry because you want to go home. And then as soon as your parents come pick you up, you be like, I want to go back.
Right. That was my baby brother. Baby brother, because like we had a family friend that each of the kids, we were the same age. And it was like boy, girl, boy for like both sides of the family. So my family and the family friend. But every time we would go over there and stay the night, it'd get to like 11, 12 o'clock at night, and my brother would have a fit to the point he was banned from staying over there anymore. Like,
wow.
they would have to call my parents in the middle of the night to pick up my brother.
That was my sister too. And then because my mom would come and pick her up, guess who ass had to go too?
Oh, nope, I stayed.
Wow.
Oh, my mom was like, oh no, I'm not spending twice the amount of gas. Oh no,
That's
we all
true.
out.
We
And
all
I used
out.
to be so mad. I used look. She can't
Y'all
come
roll
with me.
together, huh?
Look,
Sorry to my
okay?
brother for putting your business out there, but hey, it happens. Oh, and by the way, speaking of my brother, I'm an uncle again.
Yes,
Yes.
congratulations.
She's so
Thank
pretty.
you.
Yes.
Oh, Everly Jane. It sounds like a furniture store.
Mhm.
Everly Jane. So yes, she was. I found out like last week, right when we were recording, or maybe the night before or something like that, but they hadn't posted it yet. So I was like, I'm not about to say it on the podcast, put their business out there, and they haven't told the world yet. So they told the world over the weekend. So I'm free.
There you
Everly
go.
Jane. I'm an uncle.
Yeah.
The gunkle is back, bitch.
Right. And speaking of, your niece Harper is the one that brought us in today. Come on, full circle.
I know. It's gonna
Yes.
make me tear
Yes,
up.
thank you, Harper.
Thank you, Harper.
Yeah, she's so
Okay,
cute.
you can listen to this part, but the rest of the episode can't hold
We
us
already
liable.
started off with this being rated R, so
Right.
if you
Look.
made it this
Not
far
hold
in,
You can't hold
she's
us
gonna have
accountable.
quite the vocabulary by the time
Girl.
she gets into the second grade.
Girl.
You have to timestamp this one for your
exactly,
niece.
exactly. She can listen from here to here.
To here.
Right.
Go to bed, Harper, or go to
Right.
take a nap, or go eat something. I don't know. Grown
Yeah,
folks.
we not playing patty cake after this.
Mm-mm.
We spilling that tea.
Mm-mm. That's like grown folks music. Oh, speaking of grown, I'm all over the place today. My mind is scattered. Did y'all watch this wasn't planned, the Erykah Badu and Jill Scott thing? Speaking of grown folks,
I did.
it
I
was
did.
good.
It was so good. And I
It
just
was good.
I just love like how much love they gave each other
Right?
throughout the whole thing. It was like, oh, sis, oh, I love your music. Like they were standing hard for
were.
each
Mhm.
other.
It was
And then
cute.
not just doing that, but just putting it out in the universe and being like, like this is what love is supposed to be. Like it's not about a competition. Like there's room for everyone. It was dope.
It was dope.
It was so freaking
It made me forget
dope.
how much I love them because I haven't listened to their music in a while. And I was
Mhm.
like, you know what? I need to go back and have me just a Jill Scott and Erykah Badu night because like it's such a vibe. It puts you in
It
such
is.
a mood. Ooh, I was like, where my cognac at? See, I need to Remy Ma listen to them. That's what I needed.
It was actually really dope. The thing, okay, but here's one thing that bothered me a little bit.
What's that?
Erykah did a great job.
Yeah.
I just wish that a lot of the renditions in which she played her songs were are like recorded somewhere. Like she did a lot of different spins and takes on a lot of her songs, and I was like, oh, I love this. Yeah, like
I felt like they were originals. Hold on, let me think for a second. I felt like they were the originals.
I mean, like, if you go back and listen to like the actual albums back then, like she as an artist has evolved a lot. Like even when you watch her perform,
yes.
like you still hear a lot of the same melody, but there are some other things that she throws in now that be like, that's what I wish I had recorded of,
Oh, you want
like,
the updated version?
Yes, that's what I want. The updated version of some of her stuff. Yes.
Because I was
that's
like,
what I
sure
want.
She played the original. Gotcha.
Yes.
Have you seen her in live?
No, I have not. I want to.
She is dope. Like I saw her when I was still living in Chicago.
Yeah.
And you know how Chicago, Dawon, like during the summer they do like the free musical stuff. So that same summer I saw Robin Thicke when Blurred Lines was like Blurred Lines. So the whole Grant Park was going ape shit. And then like later that summer, Erykah Badu was another one that they gave a free concert series of. And it was so dope. Like her live, like her vocals just live because she just has that tone.
She does, yeah.
Oh,
I got to see her in Chicago at the what was it, the Hard Rock Cafe?
Probably House of
Where
Blues.
was that? Yeah, the House of Blues. That's what I'm thinking of.
Ooh.
And it was just amazing. Like her voice filled the entire building, and she comes from that like Zen / Mother Earth. All tree fall from the apple tree. I'm gonna give you these pieces of knowledge. Here's some crystals, and you just the whole mood in the entire place is just like it's like
it's everything. It's everything.
Yeah.
When we lived in Dallas too, so when Corey was working at our house in Dallas, he sends me a text out the blue, or no, he calls me. He goes, "Guess who I just saw?" I'm like, who? Because like he would just see random people all the time. He's seen Andre 3000 down there. He's seen, you know, here in Atlanta, he's seen Nene. Like he just sees people, and Corey doesn't give a damn. Like Corey's like, are you going to spend some coin or not? Like, I don't care who the hell you are. But he calls me. He's like, guess who I just saw today? And he's like, I'm like, who? He's like, hold on, I got to play it out for you. I'm like, okay. He goes, yeah, this lady comes in, gives me her hand and goes, Badu. And Corey said, girl, if you don't get your hand up, Corey don't care. And so every time we hear Badu, he goes, Badu. Every single time. So it's funny.
Yeah. No, they were so good. And I love me some Jill Scott. I remember, I think the first song that really, I don't know why I remember this, but like, Give Me was one of my songs. I love that song by Jill Scott back in the day.
That's a good one.
And then a couple years ago, her new song that she came out with, Fool's Gold, she sang that live on The View, and I was just like, damn. It was like poetry. It was just so good. I was like, I felt that. That was some real ass shit that was just saying right there. Right. That was good.
Like,
and I don't know who
puts so much of herself in these songs. Like, it gets you emotional. Like when she's singing, because it is like she's a poet. Honestly,
yeah,
like,
she is.
She's really just putting her poems to music at this point. It seems like, and you're just like, damn, Jill, you like, are you? Where's the camera at? You like stalking me? Because that's exactly how I felt. Oh, so it was grown folks music.
I can't wait for the next one. I cannot wait for the next one. I guess
I guess it'd be passed now.
It will pass now. But I mean, I'm hoping Nelly and Ludacris, though, this is about to be lit. It's
Don't jump, bitch.
Lit. Move, bitch. You know, bitch, it's about to look.
And I don't know who's gonna win that to me. Because I used to love Ludacris so heavy.
I still stand for Luda. Luda can rap. But I feel like Nelly got the beats.
A moment in time for me with Nelly.
Yeah, I don't know. That's gonna be hard. That's gonna be hard. But I'll have my brown liquor and I'll have my Mary J with me though. So my Mary Jane with me. So it's gonna be a whole mood.
It made me want to go buy some new Air Force Ones.
Look, don't stand in line.
Oh hell no.
We saw that line from them Jordans last 2 weeks ago in Atlanta.
Black folks, we gotta do better.
We do.
We don't need no damn Jordans. You got enough Jordans as it is. Don't stand your. And Michael Jordan needs to say something. By the way, actually, that's who needs to really say something. Like, if you care about your community, which we know you really don't talk out about your community, because even in the documentary, he just be like, he's like, there was a scene in the documentary. If folks haven't watched The Last Dance on ESPN, he was like, "Oh, Republicans buy shoes too." This was his quote back in the day, and that's always been his. I guess
this is go-to.
His stain on his legacy is really he's never stuck up for our community. He's never really spoke out about politics and things like that. Which, okay, do what you want to do. It's your body, it's your voice, whatever. But I always feel like with wealth and rich and privilege and celebrity, there's a responsibility that comes with it too, even if you don't want it.
And at the end of the day, that's where the choice comes in, because he's just choosing not to step into that role. As much as we want, as much as he can give voice to the community and so many things without having to put in the same kind of work. Like, you don't have to be on the picket line,
right?
But if you like retweet or post something on your Insta page or whatever, that can change so much.
Especially because
but it's a choice.
We made you rich. We're still buying your shoes.
According to him, he made himself rich.
Okay, then. Well,
yeah, look, fuck that. Okay. And and like you said, like, we ain't got nowhere to go anywhere. Where you going with these? Where you going with these Jordans anywhere? Like,
stunting on Instagram.
Look, around your house.
Girl.
An in-house photo shoot on some J's that you can't even go nowhere.
No. And can we talk about the fact that we all on quarantine and these like retailers, these sales are shit. Like, if they even have in sales, like, they are garbage. It's like 20 and 30%. Like, but then like it's on the stuff that you really don't want anyway.
Yeah.
So I'm like, and I shop, and I'm not like, like a big shopper, but
she likes her things.
She likes a few.
She likes things. She likes. These are a few of my favorite things.
And like for like the past 3 weeks, you know, I've passed that hurdle of like, okay, well, I'm shopping for like outside. Now I'm just shopping for stuff for inside, you know? But like I'm going online and I'm looking at like, why am I going to pay full price, you know, to like stunt in my own house? Why am I going to pay 20% off for like a t-shirt that's, you know, like $125? Like, no,
see, that's
not gonna happen.
That's the Wan's a t-shirt, y'all, 120. That's the Wan's range. But she look good though. I'll give it to you.
She do.
And you know, I'm
and like,
oh, look at the Wan looking cute.
And then like, and I'm kind of like, not the price range. That's not what gets me. I'm one of those like in-person shoppers. Like I don't really care to shop online for clothes just because like certain things just don't fit right. You know, like certain things will just be too skinny and she got too much booty and legs for certain things.
What did Beyonce say?
You know,
you don't bounce when you put your jeans
on. You don't feel my pain. Look, that's real talk.
Like I couldn't relate. Look, I've been at 32 ever since I was 12 years old.
Look, let me tell you, the struggle is real. Like because of my butt and my legs, I have to wear a 34, but my waist is a 29. Like it is the craziest thing, but it's like one of those things.
Yes, community. He's stunting.
No, I'm not. It's a nightmare. Let me tell you, it is so hard. It is so hard to find a good pair of pants that fit because, like, at this point, it's mostly like every pair of jeans I wear, I have to wear a belt, and there's so much material that
I remember you saying that in an episode.
Yeah, I hate it. It's just it really is annoying.
And I offered to send her a couple pair of jeans, and you think this bitch would take me up on that offer? Nope.
That's true. He did. He sure did.
She said 36, 24, 36.
She's pretending she's frozen right now.
I sure was.
That's funny.
Come on, hit me with the Sandra clock.
Mary.
That's true. But, you know, I feel like they started off with a few more better sales, but as time has progressed, you're right. They're like 20, 30, 40. It's 20, like the normal 20, shit that they do.
If anything. If anything.
Like I've bought a couple pair of shoes, of course. And like you said, I'm just stunting in the crib. They sitting in the closet. But I bought a couple shoes. I'm trying to think. I bought a couple things like Banana Republic. There's certain things at certain retailers I'm like, okay, I know I could buy online because I've bought them enough that I know it's going to fit. So like usually Banana Republic, like jeans, I know, okay, those are like my standard everyday go to work jeans. Oh, you got 60% off? Okay, I know I could buy this certain size. I'm not about to put my size out there, but and it'll be fine. But like Jarrell, that's true. Most things I do like to try on because I find sometimes I'm in between sizes or in between lengths or whatever it may be.
Right.
So it's just like, damn, and I ain't about to go to no damn store for no clothes. I ain't about to get clothes for no damn clothes.
Yeah, I've bought a few clothes, but the only thing I've bought has been sweatpants.
Yeah, I did.
Shorts for running and some damn tanks, underwear and socks. Like the stuff that I've been wearing on a regular. I'm like, you know what? Look, I get tired of wearing the same 4 sweatpants, so I bought me a new pair just to switch it up a little bit, you know. But other than that, books. I'm at 9 books now, like 9 physical books. Now? So I'm actually reading this book called Less. It's about an older gay man who like he's in his mid-50s and like he gets a wedding invite from his ex and he ends up going to the wedding, etc. like that. So I bought that book and then I also bought like this book of poems from queer POCs that had lived through like the AIDS crisis too. And so like that's like next on my book. It's just on my
you should
my
post
list.
That so I can remember.
Yeah. But no, like I've bought 9 LGBTQ IA plus books. So I have been reading that. Man. That's been my thing that kind of has get me ready for the month of Pride and just really feel more you know connected, just reading a lot of queer books for the month of June.
So that quickly. There's a new
Can you
book
believe that's literally Pride Month is going to be in 2 weeks?
Girl, okay.
How?
I don't even know.
Like, how?
I don't know.
Like Memorial Weekend is next weekend. Like not this week, Memorial Weekend, like a week from today, then when this episode is out, it will be Memorial Day weekend. It's like, damn.
It's crazy. It's insane.
And we ain't gonna do nothing.
Nothing.
Not a damn thing. Nothing. Well, we gonna do something. We are going to do something for the community.
That is true.
Right.
That is true.
Mm-hmm.
We have
We're
to
gonna give
figure
you a
out the
little
date.
shoulder. No, I'm kidding.
Yes.
But we had so much fun. We had so much fun in the wig happy hour, the wig
That is
party
true.
happy hour. So we're going to have to do like another
A part two.
Mhm.
We'll have to do
And
We
another
should do
one.
like
Best
we should like a
friends for
Sunday.
two.
We should do like a Sunday brunch or something. Like
Well,
maybe
that's
do
what
like
we
a
had
Sunday
talked about. We
brunch.
talked about
did
doing
talk
a
about
tea
that.
party, you know, and that's usually on the weekends. And that way, if we, you know, for like our international people, you know, they have the opportunity to participate as well. So,
So
Yeah.
does anyone have connections to DJ Nice? DJ D Nice. That'd be
DJ D
nice for him to
Nice.
spin on our little Zoom party.
Okay, look. I
Or
know.
is there an LGBTQ community member that's trying to get their DJ skills up? So if so, DM.
I have two friends. I have two friends that are part of the community that I will reach out to, and they're Black queer men too. So I'm gonna ask them see if they'll wanna.
see, this is how this is supposed to work. When we say community,
Exactly.
you know, it's community EA because it's everybody. We need to use our own network and put everybody on.
Absolutely. I agree.
Facts.
We do have a couple of really good surprises coming in and for
Pride Month.
For Pride Month. So you guys stay tuned. You know, we got some special guests and some really interesting things coming up. So even though we all on quarantine, we're gonna make it hot and popping.
We're gonna make it do what it do.
or what did Jarrell say? We're gonna rub them two pennies together.
He said something. He said, rub these pennies together and get a quarter.
Okay, so let me tell y'all this story. This is a true story, okay?
True story.
A true fucking story. And I can't believe I'm gonna share this right now, but oh well, fuck it. So so I want to say the year, and let me set the year. I want to say the year was 2009 or 2008. I was just roughly around 21. And we were at this house party. I was with my best friend Z. And Z's part of the community too. So Z will back this story up.
Oh no.
Okay. But we were at this house party and I went to go sit down on the couch. And when I sat down on the couch, like I noticed that there was some change on the couch. Okay. I sat on the quarter. When a bitch got up, there were 3 pennies and 2 nickels. Just saying, I made change with my ass. On my life, this is a true story.
That's stunt number 2.
Oh my mama. Oh
That's
my.
stunt number
Right,
2.
that was stunt number 2.
Look.
We're gonna count these up.
Look.
I'll put it in the graphics of the YouTube.
Wait, hold on. Let me make sure I write these in the notes.
Right.
But I kid you not, like I sat on a quarter and there was 3 pennies and 2 nickels. I don't know how I did
I
this.
bet you didn't find that quarter after you got up either.
Sure
So
did not.
didn't.
Sure
So
did not. Everyone in the room was like, what just happened? I was like, I don't know, leave me alone.
He said
Like,
this ass a moneymaker, bitch.
bitch. And she was nothing but like 2021, so you know she was like, damn.
This was right before that. This was right before she decided to strip. Remember when she told us that episode?
This
She
was
said,
around that
I got
time.
my first taste of stripping when I went to this house party.
She said, I'm making these
And I
coins,
made
baby.
change.
Look, okay. I was like, you know what? Boom, back.
It's like, you see it. You see it. Oh. That's funny.
I'm not mad at it.
I'm not mad at it either, boo. Like,
A little jealous because she ain't got no kind of ass over here.
I don't need any more ass. I'm happy with my ass because, like,
You
I
can
think
go
I
rock
said-
climbing on mine because, like, it's just a straight up and down.
She said,
you got that extended back, that extra back.
look.
Right.
Oh man.
I'm
I forgot
quite
all about
content
that
with mine.
story.
I don't need
Look,
no
if
more.
someone needs some, I'd be happy to donate. I got enough.
Yes, it.
I have
For
been doing
real,
squats,
okay.
though. I've been doing squats the last, like, week.
You've
And
been on your little Sean T game.
Yeah, she
I
has.
have. Yeah.
Real
It's
Sean
this
T.
is week number 6 now. So I've
Girl.
gotten into, like, what's called max, which is basically like an extra 15 minutes of work. And his workouts are already, it's 45 to 49 minutes of like hard cardio, plyometric, body work. And then you add another 15, like I was already dying on the first set. And now I'm in set number 2 and it's just crazy. But, she ain't got nothing but time and opportunity. So every morning between 9 and 11 o'clock, she's getting it in.
Get
That's
that
what's
Sean
up.
T in. Hey, I'm not mad at you, girl.
Like if you can't do it when you have all the time in the world, you sure can't do it when you when we
Facts.
go back to whatever
That
the
part.
new normal is gonna be.
Mhm.
that part. That part. I know that's right. I'm still working my ass off, so
same.
It's like literally, it's the same routine for me, honestly. Like, not much has changed, except I'm very grateful for not being in traffic as much of my day. So like that part, but other than that,
I had meat products for the first time this week.
Oh, you have been doing the vegan that long.
I had to process. I had to process for a second. I said, what? She had what?
That mind stay working.
I said his name is Adam. We know who he is. Continue.
Right.
Like,
you never know. They might got a third. Hey, throuple. I'm not mad at it. Do what you gotta do, girl.
But look, she said,
you did say in the beginning, keep it spicy. Spice up your life.
It's too much spice.
That's a lot of spice.
Right. We're not trying. Look, boy, we have our own kind of like situation going on. We don't need to be adding nobody else in this mix.
Okay,
that's for sure. But no, like I have been eating. I've been eating a vegan diet. I'm not vegan, and there's a very big difference. Yeah, for me, it's more about health and giving my body a recharge. You know, so like it's almost like a cleanse. You know, every year around January, February, I get to this space where like, you come off the holidays, you didn't eat everything with butter and fat and milk and blah, 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 and feeling bloated and blah, blah, blah. And by about that time, I need to cleanse. And so I usually hop into just a strictly vegan diet. And, I'm not altruistic. It's not because I'm doing because of, save the animals, although I appreciate that, for those that do, have fun. But for me, it's really just about, like cleansing my body, getting all of the shit out and, getting
literally
back, literally becoming regular,
right?
Again, because that post Thanksgiving constipation ain't nothing to be messing around.
It ain't. Look, but but see, for me, there's a holiday every month, so I feel that way all year round because I'm like, Easter,
if not now when?
Easter dinner, Thanksgiving, good ass meal. Oh, it's Memorial Day. Oh, should we barbecue?
It's like we barbecuing.
Look, okay, 4th of July. Oh, bitch, we in there,
right?
Like, end of the summer party in August. Damn, now it's Labor Day, so now a bitch really got to turn up.
Right.
But see, that's why I always feel like the first couple of months of like as you get into summer are usually the best time to kind of do that kind of detox or dietary change or whatever. Because
so, what did you have?
What's that?
What was your choice of meat product? What was the meat product you had this week?
So I had, what did I have? I had pistachio ice cream. I had a couple slices of pepperoni pizza. I had creamy chicken noodle soup that I made homemade.
Oh, I saw that on your Instagram.
Yeah,
that's right.
So, and now I'm back. I'm back on,
on the vegan.
Black on vegan.
Did your body react at all different to it though? Like once you had the meat?
Yeah, a little bit. I could tell, and I don't want to get too graphic, but
you could tell. I could tell the stool sample,
right? Because it took a day, and I was like, "Ooh, this."
Yeah.
This ain't for me.
Not as clean.
Right. I get that.
Enough of that.
Right. That's funny. I'm pretty regular. Like, and literally, I'm one of those people. Like, once I gotta poop, like I'm sitting on that toilet and it's done, and I'm done in like a minute.
Yeah.
Like once my stomach's like, ooh, let's go. It's like, let's go.
When I'm clean eating, I'm the same. But when I think for me, it has less to do with meat and more to do with lactose. I think, when I have like milk or butter or eggs,
that's when
I think that has more to do with my body chemistry than anything else, because it's not really a meat thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. For me, I feel bad. I don't think I use the bathroom enough.
No,
I don't.
You don't go every day?
No.
Really? Oh, I'm like every day.
Okay. Yeah, I go every day.
And my body's like, let's go, girl.
Yeah, no.
I get up, I go number 1, and then I go do something, and then I gotta do number 2. Every day.
Yeah, I may use the bathroom like once. I'll probably use the bathroom once a day. Like I may pee once a day, but other than that, like number 2 is probably like every other day.
Really interesting. And I
And
mean,
even
like,
then,
there's no rules. Do what works for your body, honestly. But
ew, why are we talking about this? Oh, we nasty.
It's
Harper can listen.
It's human
Happy
nature.
Monday, y'all.
Happy Monday.
Clean.
That's too much.
Human nature. And I'm not sorry.
Look,
but anyway.
I think quarantine has opened up a whole new world of conversation for everybody. Because I'm sure there's a whole bunch of people right now that are listening like, damn, I got the same damn problem.
And some of them probably on the toilet listening right now.
Right.
But anyway, I mean, we kind of went on a tangent. We said we were going to talk about certain stuff, and we just
this wasn't even on the list.
Completely.
So was it?
Was not even on the list.
Because I'm like,
Here's
I know.
the list.
Right?
And it's not anywhere on there.
Not even on there.
I'm like, how are we 30 minutes in already? I'm like, damn. So, I mean, should we talk about the TV stuff quickly? We wanted to talk about TV.
Ahead.
So
let's go ahead.
Let's start with Insecure, the most important.
Insecure is the most important.
Insecure is the most important.
It was a good episode.
It was a really good episode.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead, Dawon.
Two things, and we can talk about everything else. I loved that moment when they were dancing with all the tension that was going on through the whole episode. And that is, for me, was like the quintessential like sign of like what it means to be Black. Because it don't take nothing but a record that you done growed up with, and I said growed up with, for you to forget all your problems with all your friends, because there was that one look, y'all know that look.
Yeah,
and Molly, right? And that is such a Black thing. Like
it is
Black, and I love that. I love that what Issa does is she captures
those moments,
nuances of our culture so perfectly without having to spell it out.
Because let the wobble come on right now.
Hey.
Let that bitch come on right now.
We would stop talking and get up here and start dancing.
Wobble, baby, wobble, baby, wobble. Hey.
Get in here. Yeah.
So like,
hey, big
I
girl.
love that was. I love that was a moment, because as I was sitting there watching it, literally as the wobble was going and they were looking at each other, I was literally on the edge of my seat.
Yeah.
And then when you saw the crack of smile and the crinkle of the eyes as they look at each other,
you was like, yeah.
It's all right. It's all right.
We can dance. We can dance together.
They even did the little thing when you grab your hands, friends. You're like, yeah, girl, we did that. Yeah, we did that. They even did that. I was like,
they were dancing on each other because that's what you do.
Yeah, they were dancing on each other.
That's how it be. That's how it be. So I love that.
And that scene too. Again, it's a dark scene, but they lit the shit out of them Black folks.
They sure did.
Like the lighting on this show. I said, like, every week, I'm like, whoever went to school for lighting, you top of the class, girl, boy, whoever, because
they didn't miss a single beat. Like, you weren't squinting trying to see what's going on. You could see people in the background, like all that stuff. So that was my thing number one. And then my thing number two was the whole exchange between Ahmad, Issa's brother, and Kelly, who met her boyfriend. Met her boyfriend speaking like she was from England, and she had to carry it on. And Ahmad was trying to call her out. So what part of London are you from? What do you think about Brexit?
And then at the end, she's like, "Nigga, I'm from Philly."
Yes, bitch. He said, "Where your accent go, nigga? I'm from Philly. Let's go." I
lost it.
Done. Done. For all the serious shit that has been that they built up for you for the first couple of seasons.
Oh my God.
Those two things stuck out to me the most as like the joyous parts of like being Black, because Black people will call each other out on their bullshit.
Right.
In a heartbeat. And I didn't even realize for the most part that that Kelly and Ahmad didn't like each other like that. I
didn't know.
Yeah.
Did we know that prior to this?
They hinted to it, I think, in season 2 or like the last part of season 1. I think it's season 2. They hinted to it.
Yeah.
Because she said something about when they first saw each other, she said, "Hello to your shirt." Not to you, to your shirt. Yeah. And then, but if you remember in season 2, she said something similar to him about like, you know, hey, Jacket. I think it was like Jacket or something like that, but she wouldn't say hi to him. So it's been an undercover thing. Mm-hmm. But I just love how they just like slid that in there. And that was just a whole other element to the whole show.
I agree. What was your favorite part, Kerel?
I would definitely say the part right there with her brother and Kelly. That took me out. And Kelly she stole that episode for me personally. Like her accent just had me dying. And she was like, the fact that she thought like taco, like, is that what you call it? A taco? Like, to think they don't got tacos over there. Like, bitch, what the fuck? Like, I thought that was
She said, and you eat it with your fingers?
With your fingers? I died so much. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, I'm glad that it finally kind of got to a head, like Issa and Molly finally, got face to face. And when Molly stepped up on Issa, I was like, Issa, you ain't gonna swing on her? Like, I was like, that's respecting the friendship.
Get your finger out my face.
I was like, that's respecting the friendship right there. Because as soon as that's just me. If someone step in my face, my guard goes up and it's like, all right, survival mode. Right. Like, if you get in my face, that means you are also threatening me, which in that case, I'm like, fuck it. All right, here we go.
It's like, oh, you bucking up now?
Right? Look, as far as I'm concerned, which, I don't know. I think Issa would have whooped that ass, though. I ain't gonna lie. I think Issa would have hemmed Molly up.
I don't know.
I think Molly kind of puts on the front of more toughness than she is. I think Issa's a little bit more crazy of not caring.
Mm-hmm.
But y'all saw Molly's family.
No, for real.
So it's not like she's bougie. I mean, she may have a bougie job. She may be a lawyer. Right. But she comes from Inglewood.
Yeah. No, for real. No, I don't disagree with that. But I think she's gotten softer being so bougie. Like, I think Issa's the one that still has that hardness to her. I mean, you look at how she lives. Like, she lives that, like, a little bit of that lifestyle still of being like, you know what? I still got it, know? Whereas Molly be like, I like a little bit of finer things.
She has the struggle still.
Right.
Yeah.
She in the struggle. She in that struggle life a little bit.
That struggle strap is a struggle scrap. That's what I want to say. Yeah. That's hard to say. That scrapping when you're struggling is different when you strap when you're scrap. I can't say it.
We got you.
It's a wrap.
But yeah, no, I think it was a good episode.
I like.
What about you, Kerel?
I love those parts too. I felt like I really enjoyed almost like the chill moments too. Like, this episode had like a lot of just like, it wasn't overacted. It's just like, okay, even when she was like leaning against the wall before Molly came over and stuff like that, or just walking through the park and be like, where are all the black people at? Like, like those small moments like that. I was like, God, they are acting the shit out of this show, because it wasn't like, where are all the black people? It was just like very, that's how you would say it to yourself. And you'd be like, oh man, I thought there was going to be some more black people. Where they at? Like, and so I love those moments.
But we all know that black people don't show up to a festival until about 9 o'clock.
A little later, exactly. She knew better.
I mean, it could start at 3, but we are not, even, and it could end at 10 o'clock. But black people are not going to show up until about 9 o'clock. That's when they get off their shift. That's when their babysitters be coming over.
And that's when Vince Staples was coming on.
Their friends.
Because you're already like, okay, Vince don't go on till like 9. So you know what? I don't even need to get there till maybe like 9:15.
Right. We're not going. For the most part, we aren't going to be hanging out.
Right, until they get like real late
all day.
Right,
we gonna come just enough time to get us something to eat, get us a couple of drinks. We gonna have a couple of drinks on the way, and then we coming for that entertainment.
Right,
absolutely, fact.
I'm trying to think what else I enjoy. Oh, I kind of almost even enjoyed the nerd moments of Kerel, the like reading the behind the scenes stuff. So I guess when they did the block party for the show, they really did it in LA for a week, and they invited like the local vendors
street for a week.
So that's cool that even outside of the show, they're caring about the community, and making sure that the local communities are involved in the show, and that we're giving you an opportunity to have a week out here to show your food, your products, whatever it may be. So I kind of like enjoyed that the show is taking care of the community as well. within the show and outside the show.
Mm-hmm.
Can I ask you guys a question?
Mm-hmm.
And this is such a small, like, nuanced part of the episode. And the episode be packing so much stuff in there, and it's only 30 minutes.
Exactly.
Like,
we haven't even talked about like Tiffany
that?
and her husband. Like,
right. But the thing that I didn't get, and I'm gonna have to rewatch it, is when they were in the tent in the VIP area, and the musical guest was down there with that guy.
His manager.
That was apparently, the hookup from Andrew, Asian
Right.
Bay.
Right.
There was some awkwardness in terms of like when Issa and the intern showed up and they had like the little candies and things on the table. And I didn't understand that. Like for some reason that didn't land for me. Do you guys know what I'm talking about?
I thought it was like a groupie thing. Like they were like two people who had never been around a celebrity and like, oh my God, we got this for you. And like, oh my God, I can't believe you're here. Like, and they're just like, oh my God, like you are just doing the most right now. Like just be professional. Stop wigging out because you see me. Like I'm here because you invited me. Like don't act brand new. Like that's what I took it as that. Yeah.
See, that's what I thought initially, but like it just struck me different. It struck me like there was something else, whether it was subtext or whatever, and I just didn't get it. So I'm gonna have to rewatch that little scene again, because then when she interacted with that guy again, it was also awkward. So I'm gonna have to rewatch that again.
I almost wonder if there's like some history of Vince Staples as well. If there's some awkward stories out there that they kind of inserted into.
See, that's what I'm trying. I feel like there's like subtext in that's like not just over for everybody watching a show, but like it was important enough for them to put it into the show. Like, why was that important?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like she had all this stuff going on. They had all like, and it wasn't like the writer items. It was like Skittles. It was like red M&Ms.
Right.
It was like, you know what I mean? It wasn't like anything major. So it's just like the fact that they took the time to put that in, like that stuck out to me. And I was like, I need to get some more information about that.
But I'm calling it here. That was episode 5? I think so.
Yes, 5.
Yeah.
I'm calling it here. I said it last week, I think. I don't think that baby is Tiffany's husband's, because I feel like they're putting so much. Something's going to happen with that baby. Something's going to happen there, because I feel like they keep on putting this emphasis of him caring so much about that kid, and Amanda's character Tiffany being
postpartum. I think that's the storyline.
Maybe it's the postpartum.
I think it's the postpartum struggle, because you can clearly see that she's going through that.
Yeah.
Which I mean, like it. I mean, dang, I don't want to put my sister business all the way out there, but one of my sisters actually went through that, where I literally had to go and get my niece for like a week because of the thoughts that my sister was having, which scared her. And then she had to go to her doctor, and they talked about it and stuff like that. And they got us some medicine, et cetera, like that. But it's a real thing that a lot of women don't talk about. And it's something that needs to be talked about, because it's not the same for everyone. Just because you have the baby in you for 9 months don't mean that you automatically come out with this bond. Some people have to create that bond.
There are a lot of, and just to be clear, there are a lot of, and we're not women, but like there are a lot of women that deal with this. So I'm glad that this is a topic of conversation that is being brought up, and not so much. What I love about Issa's writing and the whole production of this show is that they have a way of telling stories without hitting you over the head, like treating you like you're an idiot, that you need to have everything spelled out. Like, yes, there is some postpartum something going on, with her, and some dynamic happening with the husband. And, Kerel, I think, perhaps we may find some, in addition to this, there might be some other stuff that's going on.
I think
but what I love with the writing of this is that it is truly nuanced. It is integrated into the storyline. It feels real. It feels authentic. Yeah. And it makes you appreciate it that much more. It makes you feel like it's relatable because it's real life.
And then also like too, like a lot of the storylines that she's been telling too are a lot of stories that in the Black community we don't talk about. Right. There's a lot of it that's just a lot of things go unsaid, and people just suffer in silence a lot in our community. And so telling these stories is bringing so much of that stuff that we put in the dark to the light, and be like, wow, that's why it's so relatable, because I have been through that, or I know, like, I've experienced this. what, I'm not alone. Like other people go through this, you know, like it starts to create that dialogue of, you know, there are some other underlying things possibly in our lives that we have yet to figure out or think about, you know.
And that it's okay to get it out there.
Mm-hmm.
Even like when Tiffany and Ahmad were talking and she was like, okay, I'm gonna hook you up. What are you into? Are you a top? Are you a bottom? He was like, dealer's choice.
Dealer's choice.
Again, that was another, like, in such a very small period of time, you know, it was able to showcase a segment, very small segment, but a very real segment of the Black experience. Not all, you know, Black men are, you know, a certain kind of way. And so I love that realness is just embedded in the storytelling there.
Absolutely. So
good show, community. Go watch it if you ain't, for real. Watch it.
You're missing out. It's so good.
It's good.
It's good. But and then I don't, like, we're getting later in the episode already. I'm like, where's time going? How did we do this every time? We're like, damn, it's 45 minutes in already. But did you watch Hollywood?
Yeah, I watched it.
What'd you think of it? And before, actually, we'll say
Dawon needs to go first. Dawon needs to go first because Ryan Murphy created this damn thing. So I want to hear Dawon first.
If you're new to the show, Dawon over time has a thing that we call #blame Ryan Murphy. And so Hollywood is another Ryan Murphy show. So we always are interested to see Dawon's perspective, because he's not the biggest fan of Mr. Ryan Murphy.
It was actually this time last year that came about, actually.
It did.
Because we were watching, Dawon and I were watching Game of Thrones, and he was trying to get you hooked on it, and then you were watching Pose.
We made a deal.
And then y'all made a deal because Pose came out in June. Season 2 came out in June.
That's
so it was this time last year where that #blame it on Ryan Murphy came to be.
So you really want me to kick this off? Is that what you really want?
Yes.
Come on.
What I appreciated
I'm sorry
about the show was that it was entertaining. It had positive depictions of Black queer specifically, because, you know, I'm voting for everybody Black. So this ain't called Minority Report for nothing.
Okay.
So what I appreciated about this series, and with a lot of Ryan Murphy's work, is that he does use his platform to put on and showcase other elements of the LGBTQ plus, and more specifically POC component of that community on in very positive ways and in ways that are not stereotypical. So I appreciated that. I also found it really entertaining. We binged like it in two nights.
Okay.
Binged the whole thing. So I wasn't disentertained. My constant problem with Ryan Murphy
here we go
is twofold. One, I think he thinks his audience is stupid, because he gets so lazy in his storytelling, especially towards the end. And what's so frustrating for me as a watcher is he and their team does such a great job of building these character stories up. But somewhere in the last 25% of the show, he just does not know how to land a plane. And I find it problematic. I found it problematic basically towards the very end, where, and if you haven't watched it, spoiler alert. Turn it off. Don't listen. Fast forward. Timestamp. I find it problematic that he's been building up this racial and homophobic storyline. And at the very end, when it comes to the award ceremony, it's almost like that didn't exist. And I've had a couple of dialogues with a couple of people about this. And my biggest complaint is not that it was a kumbaya kind of moment at the end, you know, like, because I do appreciate that in some sense. I felt like he rushed getting there. Like, in the story, they spent so much time. They dedicated a whole goddamn episode to rewriting the end story of Meg, the fake movie in the series, but they didn't spend enough time justifying how this movie was made in the 1940s and 50s in a time of high homophobia and high racial tension to like get these awards at the very end. And in my mind, all it would have taken was we needed to see the Academy panel discussing the merits of this movie compared to others. And that, in my opinion, and they didn't have to come to a resolution. They could have cut it off where you're seeing them argue about this and then cut it off. And then you get the satisfaction of seeing what you saw in the Academy Award ceremony. And I just felt again, like I got built up to this like thing. And then I felt like it was like, oh, I'm going to pat you on the back and I'm going to give you everything that you ever wanted out of everything ever. Every movie that you felt disenfranchised, we're going to make it feel all good. And I just felt like that was bullshit. The other thing that I have a problem with.
She told us too.
I did. I said that was one.
She did.
And the other one that okay. I told you I had Remy Ma at the beginning, so it is what it is. If y'all watching on the YouTube, y'all just got a little extra.
I gotta blur it.
My other problem is that he uses gratuitous sex and violence, although not in this one, but gratuitous sex for no reason. There was a lot of time dedicated towards like sex, like whatever her name is, Lapone.
Patty Lapone.
What's her first name?
Patty Lapone.
Patty. Mm-hmm. She's getting like fucked on like a banister by like this rent boy. And I'm just like, this is how you're choosing to spend the time. So for me, it boils down to those two things. Yes, it was entertaining. Yes, I do recommend people should see it because it's supporting all these characters. Is it going to be disappointing in the end? Yeah, it's gonna be a sloppy cum.
Ooh.
It's gonna be one of those ones where like it comes out but it don't feel good.
Oh wait.
Well then.
One of those.
Okay.
I've had some of those.
Well, I am more surprised. The fact that you only had two
that part
is a win. Is a win. Community. The fact that he only had two issues. Okay. I liked the show. I don't know. I just felt like the Black people were just part of the show just to make it seem like he was being inclusive. Like I felt like the Black storyline could have been a little bit more, you know, like I don't know, like I forget the girl that played Meg.
She was terrible.
She was
terrible.
She was
a terrible actress.
And there was not much in her storyline at all whatsoever. I mean, the gay black man of the show, like he got a decent storyline.
He's handsome.
I loved his story because they showed him as being unafraid, unabashed, and really, really self-secure. He was the only person in that time who was aware of himself and totally gave into like, I got to make $1. So if I got to like turn some tricks to make this shit happen, I'm going to do it. Why should that bother you? Like that, right. I appreciate it.
He definitely was one of those, like, you got to respect the hustle. I respect the hustle. This is what I got to do to survive. However, I just felt like there still could have been more, like, he was the one who even made the fucking, who wrote it to begin with. And I felt like they just didn't give him enough justice as far as how important he was to everything. And I felt like his storyline at the end, I felt like was really rushed. Like you really didn't see how him and his boyfriend came to, the guy he was seeing, all of a sudden they were just, like all of a sudden they were just really into each other. And I was just like, well, we only see y'all hang out twice. Like, I don't understand the storyline. Like how all of a sudden he like, in love with you and he jealous and stuff like that. Like, you don't, but we had to ask your auntie that one time. So I guess people out there really like that. So that may be true.
And you didn't see the Black character. You didn't see that guy. You didn't see his backstory as much. So like you got glimpses of it, but like at the very end when like they showed his brother, or I think I don't know
who the young man was that was listening while he was eating.
I don't think it was his brother. I think it was just. I think those
just a Black person.
I think it was like a representation moment. Yeah, that's what I thought too.
Yeah, that scene, and then the next scene was like
an Asian family or something like that.
So I think it just represented here's a gay Black guy that's finally hearing and seeing someone that's like him and giving me hopefully the opportunity to come out or to be more vocal about who I am, et cetera, et cetera.
And see, that wasn't clear to me.
Yeah, see, it was good. I felt like it was pretty cheesy. It wasn't like something that like I didn't feel wowed, but I was like, huh, okay, now this is interesting.
There were a lot of like
I would say
awe moments like that touched you in the feels, right? Like there were a lot
really
of them.
for me, but
really,
yeah, not really for me, honestly. I just thought it was so like to me in my mind, it reminded me a lot of Glee. Like it just, you knew it was going to have a happy ending. You knew it was going to be very positive. You knew it was just going to be like a feel good thing. It wasn't, I didn't feel any like real authenticity from the show. Personally, me, like, yes, I felt like some of these storylines were true from back in the day, especially when it came to racism and homophobia. But how it came to be, I just felt like the real struggle was missed. Like the real struggle of the homophobia, I felt like was missed. The real struggle of, the racism was missed. Like outside of them picketing for, for the movie and then the KKK, crosses, like we also know that like way other shit happened back then, during those times. And there could have been a little bit more play in that realness to that. It was a bubblegum show. It was like one of those like soft bubblegum when they
were
shows.
Like when they were doing the burning the crosses and then the white guy that was in the Johnny Versace, I forget what his name is.
Chris Darren.
When he and the black chick, they decided out of all things that they decided to do, even when the studio said, we will put you up on the studio so that you're protected. It's like, no, we're going to stay in our little shitty ass apartment and just kind of buck it out. And then the very next night, there's a fucking burning cross and then some bullshit thrown through their window. And they're like, oh, I guess we'll take you up on that.
Yeah.
I felt that part because I was just like, I don't know if I would have easily given in, be like, okay, let's go to this Hollywood. So like, no, let me stand up for my own shit. Like, I'm
really when they called, and she was a G, and she was like, come down to LA and come say that to my face. I was like, that was the one line I liked about her.
That was the most.
He told him to pull up.
Hold on, that was the most unrealistic part of the show. Come on, if that's the most unrealistic part.
No, I said that was my favorite part. That was my favorite. Oh, right.
No, like I was like, but back in that day, I'm like, clearly they weren't trying to tell like a true representation of that time period. Because if that was the most outlandish thing, then there's a lot of
that was
outlandish,
not by any stretch of the imagination.
Right, exactly. So that's what I thought of the part. It's just like me, like especially like in my own house, I'm gonna want to protect my own house for a while, until it gets too crazy. Yes, I get the context of the time period. You would maybe have a different context then, but overall for me, I take his shows for what it is. It's like I don't take his shows as really showing the meat and potatoes of a situation. His might be like the cherry on top of the situation, which I like dessert too. And I don't watch his shit to.
I would call it a sprinkle, not a cherry.
Maybe sprinkles too,
because it's synthetic and fake and tiny.
Well, maybe the cherry is the extra sex part you were talking about. But I don't watch. I guess maybe I go into his shows knowing it's not going to be a history lesson. It's not going to be the deepest of the deep shit. It's just going to be kind of almost a glossy thing, and it is what it is. So like once I kind of go into that, I was entertained. That's what I go into his shows thinking, like, I'm going to be entertained. Pose might be the closest of all his shows that might get a little deeper. But even then, he glosses over a lot of stuff there.
OJ was amazing.
OJ was
for
like,
me.
But if you told a gloss over story of OJ when it was like the most watched thing on planet Earth, people would be like, bitch, like that's not what happened. Rock Hudson, we don't know that much about Rock Hudson because he lived
pause. Rock Hudson. Why did they play Rock Hudson like he was retarded?
He if you look at documentaries of Rock Hudson, they said he could not act, he could not remember shit, he couldn't think. They literally had to groom him for a decade before he became Rock Hudson the superstar, because he literally
I had no idea. They literally always had him, and I'm sorry I used the word retarded, but mentally challenged. But every scene they always had him looking down, kind of in that of himself. Mentally challenged kind of way. And I was just like, am I missing something? Is he supposed to be like that way?
That part, I don't know.
I just
but,
thought, I
I know he
looked at it
just
as
never
like
could
one of them
act.
corn-fed boys from the middle of nowhere in the Midwest going to the big city, biting off more than he can chew and just failing miserably. Like that's how I saw it.
Well, he hitched his
Like
wagon
all
to
of
a
a
black
sudden you
star, so
look
He was a good
fast.
whoever played him though is handsome.
Oh, he's fine.
yeah.
They were like the men in that show were fine. It was actually a really
Absolutely.
cute like the whole cast was
They're
really
very
cute
good
to
looking.
me. Yes,
Yeah.
very. Yeah, even that daddy. Woof.
Dylan
He was
Oh,
McDermott.
fine.
Dylan McDermott?
Mm-hmm.
That's Leslie Jordan's
And he's like,
movie.
what, 60? He's 60.
Mm.
Is
60
he
years
really that
old.
old now?
Yes, he's 60. He's
I
either
didn't
59 or 60 on the
He's a
dot.
good-looking
Yeah.
man.
He is
Wow.
very good looking.
Have you seen Leslie Jordan? I guess switching topics there quickly. Leslie Jordan, his crush on him, Dylan McDermott, and like they're like back and forth on the IG.
No.
It's everything. You should check that out. It's hilarious because obviously Leslie Jordan's like the winner of quarantine,
Right. Of course.
and so he calls Dylan McDermott like some crazy name, and so literally the hashtag is on Dylan McDermott's like bio now. And like they go back and forth to the point Ryan Murphy is looking to create some kind of script or show with those two actors in it.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
That's cute.
Yeah,
That's
it's very cute. But all right, well, anyway, if you haven't checked out Hollywood, Dawon only gave two negatives on that one. So I agree with Jerome on that one. That's a win for Ryan Murphy.
Jaden Mock is doing him well.
Yes. She wrote a lot of this series too.
Yeah.
So yeah, Janet Mock is definitely doing him well. And he's doing her well. I mean, honestly, like giving her a lot of opportunity, which is awesome. And a lot of freedom. You know, and that's the joy of Netflix, honestly. Like the cool thing is like I don't know if a lot of these stories would be told if it wasn't for the freedom of like a Netflix and a Hulu and a Amazon Prime. You know, like there's just so many opportunities and so much more real estate to tell these stories, even if they are a little glossy and maybe not the true meat and potatoes of the situation. At least there's more representation on TV, especially as a gay Black man, to see him play this. I was like, that's awesome. That's dope. And so hopefully it furthers to other POC communities, honestly. So anyway, we're hour in.
I'm sorry. I'm looking up Dylan McDermott's Twitter.
Yeah, it's like Rock Scissor Daddy or something like that he calls him. Like, or the Hot Rock or some crazy name.
It's not on his profile yet, but or anymore, but
it was there yesterday because they had something going on. Hold on. Anyway, but I think it's time to get to
the next segment. Yes.
And what time is it?
Ask your aunties. Yes.
All right. So this week's Ask Your Aunties was actually one that I had. I wanted to ask you guys this question because it's kind of a timely question of what's happening right now. And the question is, if you're a single gay man and decide to have a child, could you, should you, would you want to share the responsibility with your ex-partner that you called it quits with over 2 years ago? And this came up because, as you know, Anderson Cooper is now a dad. Congratulations, Anderson Cooper. But he's deciding to raise this kid with his ex-partner of 10 years. And a lot of people are questioning, why would you have a kid with not the support that you wanted? And then the support that you want or that you're able to get is your ex-partner. So I guess my question to you guys, and I guess I'll chime in at the end or whatever, is that a situation if you wanted a kid and you're by yourself and you get out of a long-term relationship, something that you could do, that you could handle? Or would you say, I'm just going to do this on my own and see what happens kind of deal?
I will say first we need to stop parent shaming.
I agree. That's
because there's no rule book, and unfortunately everyone isn't blessed to have a spouse to help them through parenting. Yes, two incomes would be financially better than one, possibly depending on who the single parent is. It will also be helpful to have another adult and another set of eyes and hands, to help nurture and love, the child. However, it is fucking 2020 And if you want to do something by yourself, you can do it by your goddamn self. That is your prerogative, one. Especially as a gay man or someone in the queer community where it's not as easy to have a physical child, and you're going to spend thousands and thousands of fucking dollars to have a biological child.
Yes, sir.
Like, send all them haters to the left because it makes no sense for someone to be in your business because you are fortunate enough to do that. I mean, there was a point where Fizz and I were looking at how to biologically have children, and the bare minimum was $30,000 to have one child that will look like you, and that still doesn't it still doesn't even cover all the legal stuff that happens afterwards and that 90-day window that the mother has the opportunity to still keep said child. Okay, so it is still a gamble at the same time. So people just need to mind the business. If you want to have a child by yourself, have a child by yourself. In my 20s, my mind was backwards. I thought I needed to have a man in order to have a house, to have a family, to have the dog and all. A lot of those straight normatives that I had built up in myself. That I want that too. But then I realized, now that I'm in my 30s, I really don't need a man to do that. I can do all that stuff by myself. Like, if your goals require you to have someone else to do it, I think you need to take a pause and revisit your goals and figure out how to do them without someone else's help, because they're not your goals. Those, at that point, that's y'all goals. That is a partner's goals at that point. So go for it by yourself if you can. And the other thing I want to say, adoption. I would like to take the time to say that, everyone cannot afford to have a surrogate and everyone can afford to go that route. And there is nothing wrong with adoption. There are a lot of children out there who didn't have the parents that are fortunate enough or that were able to take care of them that deserve love too. So don't always get caught up in having to have a blood child that looks like you. Adoption is a way to go too. And I'm out.
What do you think of Dawon?
I think a couple of pieces are missing from the Anderson Cooper story that's pertinent. One, Anderson Cooper has a very different financial situation than most people in America, right? Mm-hmm. And so he can, in effect, afford to make some unilateral decisions around parenthood that give him a lot of options that other people don't have. And right. So the notion that, that he's chosen to engage his ex in the raising of this kid is in part, due to the relationship that he has with his ex and, the realization of the fact that he doesn't have as many other people in his life that are family that he can lean on. So those are two really important things that go into a decision around, having a kid. And, for me personally, like the question of, could you or should you, I think I don't disagree with what Jarrell said. I think, if you have it pressed upon your heart, to either bring a child into this world, either by yourself or with someone else, or adopt someone that's already in this world and give them a home full of love, and that's your intention, then, I think that's great. You should go for it. I personally would have made that decision before I would have gotten to the surrogacy process, and
maybe he did. That part I don't know.
Yeah, I can't, I don't, I'm not in his household. I don't know what his decision-making process is, but for me personally, I would not have made a decision to bring a child into this world or adopt a child or have a child in my life if I did not know for certain that I could provide the structure, the love, and the support that I think that child would need under the purview of me as a parent. So does that mean that I would want to, or I would entertain the idea of raising a child with an ex? With any of my exes? No, I don't think so.
That's real. That's
real. We're exes for a reason, and it's in large part has to do with the fact that we either unilaterally or collectively decided that we did not see a future together. And so in my view, that means if we don't see a future together, then that means that, you know, we can be friends, but we're not going to be tied together in that deep kind of way, especially in a way that has legal guardianship responsibilities.
Yeah.
No, I can't do it. No. So if I were having a kid, and just to put the stuff out there, I'm not really interested in having kids. I've never had that bug, you know, even in the context of a relationship. You know, if my partner was really adamant, which Adam is not, but if he were, you know, then I would consider, and I think that I would be a great parent. But the reality of it is I would make, if I were by myself and I was interested in having a kid, I would not look to an ex to raise that kid with. I would look to myself and look for and build my, you know,
your village
tribe, my tribe with the family that I have and whatever, you know, to provide additional support. I just, no, I wouldn't bring an ex into the picture.
And when I first heard the story, like, I think I was kind of leaning your way, Dawon. But once I heard him kind of explain it, it kind of opened my eyes and maybe my thought process on it, because I guess I haven't just really given it a lot of thought if I was in that situation. If I, like, because I've gone back and forth on wanting kids. Like, I think it'd be a bomb-ass time, honestly. I think I'd be an awesome dad. I think it'd be a blast. Yes, it's struggles, I get it. And people are probably like, oh, Kerel, you're probably a little naive on the struggles. Nope, I get it. I understand that part. But if I was single, I just know how much harder that would be, and I don't know if I would go that route. However, like, listening to Anderson explain it, he was just saying, hey, my mom just died. My dad died when I was young. My brother committed suicide. I literally have no immediate family. This is something I want to do. And obviously, Anderson, at least from the perspective that I have of him, I think he's a smart guy and knows it. And I don't think he necessarily needed his ex to raise his kid. But I think from his perspective, he's thinking, okay, if I were to die, where's this kid going to go? Is it going to go foster? Is it going to go, you know, like, and obviously you can come to terms, and I'm sure he's thought about that before getting into the surrogacy process, maybe Andy Cohen, you know, like his good friends or whatever. But I think from his perspective, he's like, I was in a relationship for a decade of my life, just got out of this 2 years ago. It ended well. We're still friends. We still like see each other. And maybe they've even had conversations in the past of wanting kids together, you know? And we don't know the full story, and nor should we need to know the full story. And at least he knows, hey, if something were to happen to me, at least I could write it out or give him legal guardianship, and he's already been in his life from day one. And so I think that's maybe the perspective he's coming from, and that I wouldn't have even really given thought to, because a lot of times when we say ex, usually it doesn't end as pretty or as nicely as you would want it to. You know? And it's like, hell no, I'm not giving it to my ex. But maybe their situation was a lot better than a lot of the stuff we've been through or people have been through.
Right. Absolutely.
And honestly, I'm glad that he's been vocal about his situation, because it does allow people to be like, oh, hold on, let me actually think about this further, instead of jumping to conclusions or whatever it may be. Because when I first saw the headline, I was like, really? Word? Say word. But then literally he was on Howard Stern, and Howard Stern's like, why would you even want to go back to your ex? Why would you press that? And he gave a very intelligent, thought out answer that I was like, damn, hold on, let me take a step back and kind of almost reevaluate my thought process and things like that. And could I do it? If things ended, like, say if things ended with Corey and I, God forbid, and it ended well, I would actually consider it now.
I think the context is really the context. I mean, the way that you frame the question is, could you do it on your own? It's could you do it in these circumstances? And if the question is, if you have an amicable relationship with another partner where within which you have already discussed raising a child and could imagine raising a child with that person, and you don't have other people in your life, I think given the circumstances, I think a lot of people would take that option. You know,
like, even say if you did have people in your life, would you?
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
there would be no point.
I mean, I think it varies, because it's to each their own. I think it's to each their own. Like, because some people got family, and guess what? Family and everything. Like, some people, they got siblings and they don't talk to their siblings. Like, everyone may have blood relatives, don't mean you got a family. You know, like I'm all about chosen family. I'm blessed to have a chosen family and real family, but everyone ain't got both. And even though I have both, I still feel like I could do it on my own because I know that I'm blessed to have both. And I know that I would have, like Dawon said, a tribe either way it goes. So I feel like I wouldn't need to go to an ex, but whether I go to an ex or not doesn't change anything. The first priority is the child. Is the child in danger? No. Then it don't fucking matter.
Right. Yeah. And honestly, it sounds like this gentleman is his tribe. Honestly, it's his chosen family.
Yeah.
And whether it be an ex or not an ex, I feel like Anderson's smart enough to know how to make a decision that's going to be ultimately right for his son.
Right.
You know? And I, like I said, I'm glad he's being vocal because honestly, it's made me rethink my norms and my initial reactions and be like, hold on, let me just sit down. Why do I feel like I couldn't do that? Why wouldn't I do that? Why shouldn't I do that? Is it because I don't want the perception? Is it because I don't like my ex? Is it, you know, like what is, like, let me unveil this of why I came to that conclusion instantly. And it literally took him to break it down and be like, damn, I guess it would probably be a little perception. Probably be like, damn, I didn't think it, you know. And
see, for me, it was like, why do I even care to begin with? And that man ain't got nothing to do with my life. Like, you know, I still got shit to do. I still got to go to work tomorrow. Like, why am I wasting energy on someone? Congratulations, sir. I'm glad that you have a child. I'm glad you can bring your family. Good for you, boo-boo.
Right. So, and hopefully it shatters a lot of the stigmas that even like the straight community put on gays with kids too. Him being vocal and sharing this information. Yes, we can have families. Yes, we can have kids. Yes, we can have surrogates, et cetera, et cetera. Like I know even with Andy Cohen going through surrogacy last year, he has been very vocal and helped New York State change the laws about surrogacy with LGBTQ community and honestly the straight community because they had some old laws on the books that did not help either side of the coin, honestly. And they just really updated their laws. I think that came either earlier this year and it starts next year, or it was late last year and it already started this year about the whole surrogacy process. So to me, I'm like, hey, if there's other great things that come out of this that we never even thought would come to be, awesome. So we never know what might come out of this Anderson Cooper situation that provides additional thoughts on what you can do in the future of having a family if that's the route you want to go.
I mean, I plan on making y'all aunties before I'm 40, so yep, that's definitely on my list. I know what I'm put on the earth to be, and I can't wait. So
yeah.
Whether I'm with someone or by myself, it's going to happen in one way or another. Like
And for me, like my brother and I are the last of our last name. Have I said my last name on this thing? People can find me out wherever. Anyway.
Well, I mean, technically, it's right here on this Zoom meeting, so.
It's not on my screen.
Yeah, I see all three names on these screens right here.
Right there.
I don't see my name on it.
I see yours.
But we're the last of our name, and so part of me, and then plus, like my brother has two girls. Then a stepson. So I'm just like, man. Part of me just has this pressure of if I don't have a kid and then if my brother's done, we're the last of it, you know? And so if Corey and I were to have kids, he's brought up adoption before, but part of me is just like, I would want to go to surrogacy route and then I need to save some coins to do that because it is expensive. And it would be really just because I want to keep the name going and hopefully it's a boy. You know, there's no guarantees that it would be a boy. Obviously there's more science to kind of aid that now, which is odd, but so it's crossed my mind. So we'll see what the future holds, but yeah, so once I saw that story, I was like, ooh, that might make a good Ask the Aunties. And community, chime in. We'll post this on IG. Let us know your thoughts on it. Is it weird? Is it not? Should he care? Should he not care? What would you do in that situation? Let us know. Chime in. So. And then we saved this for later in the episode, not because it's an afterthought, just because it's another heavy topic, another week, another death that we're finding out. With Breonna Taylor in Louisville getting shot in her own house by the cops. And for those that don't know the story, there's a lady in Louisville that got shot, and we're finding out this now. I think this happened in March. Now we're finding out more of the details again a couple months later, where the cops thought her home was part of the warrant that they had for a drug bust. And come to find out it wasn't the right home. And so when the cops got this particular kind of warrant, they didn't have to announce that
they
cops
were there,
coming into the house,
mm-hmm.
and that they could just bust into the crib and arrest them. So when they busted into the crib, her boyfriend thought it was someone breaking and entering, grabbed his gun and started shooting. They started shooting back, and not even just like shooting back, like rounds of shooting back. Shot through the blinds, didn't know who was in there, and shot her to death. So now there's stuff going back and forth about like who did what, who didn't do what, who should have done, who shouldn't have done. But at the end of the day, a black female is dead. And if it's true that they went into the wrong home, why are they that reckless? Like, this is scary now that the cops are coming into your own home now and shooting you. We saw it in Dallas. Now here's another situation where literally, where can you chill? When can you rest? When can you feel secure? When can you feel safe? And then them not taking the responsibility that they need to take for a mistaken situation as well, and making it look like these two people that they shot at, the cops shot at, are these thugs and this and that, and oh, we thought it was drugs. They probably were on drugs. You know, it's just like, come on, stop with this narrative and have more responsibility for the job you have. Like, don't be shooting recklessly like that. Yes, I get that you were getting shot at because the dude thought you were breaking into the crib. But, and it's just sad. So we need to continue to speak out. And Jarrell, what do you think? I see you over there, boo.
Honestly, I don't have it in me to say anything. Like right now, I'm just, I can't help but just be afraid for my own safety. You know, like I just don't have it in me. I just don't have it in me. When can we just live? When will it be okay for us to just simply exist and be okay being ourselves? I'm tired of having to pretend to be something that I'm not, just to help other people feel less afraid. I don't understand it. If it really boils down to them picking the wrong fucking house, I really can't. If something doesn't happen, if there's no consequences, I don't know what's going to happen. I just, like Dawon was saying last week and the week before that too, like there's a racial tension that's about to start happening in this country. And a lot of people are fed up. And I am one of those people that are fed up. And I can't help but think about, like I said last week, all my other beautiful Maryland, brothers and sisters, family, friends, etc. And I'm just like, I hope one day I don't have to wake up and it's someone I know, that I personally know. Like, and I feel like at any moment I wake up, or even just not even waking up, but just at any moment I can get that text message and be like, this person didn't pass away. This person was murdered. And already coming from the ghetto and experiencing that just with even the black on black crime that happens in our own community, just to see that whether it's in our community or someone else's community, we ain't safe. So I don't know. I'm tired.
I hear you, girl. Dawon,
what you doing?
This just I think on the positive side, this isn't an instance where it's overt racism at play. This was a mistake, a very tragic mistake. But I think what it highlights for me is, the severe lack of sanctions and holding accountable of the police force when they do the wrong thing. And I know we talked about a little bit this on our previous podcast, but what I hope that comes out of this is that we take a really strong look at at the processes that are in place, the fact that this is something that happened months ago, and we, the John Q. public, are just not hearing about this, and there's, what are the repercussions? because at the end of the day, the police force was wrong. Like if I submit an expense report and I submit an expense that's incorrect, I get called out on it, you know? So like they need to get called out on this shit. They need to pay up. It doesn't bring her life away, bring her life back. But at the end of the day, there needs to be accountability, and it shouldn't have to take months for this to take place.
Right.
Now,
absolutely.
In context, we are in a pandemic. So, you know, like courts are closed. A lot of things are, you know, administratively are, you know, have come to a halt on a lot of different things. But, you know, here again, we're hearing about something that happened, you know, 3 months ago, you know, and it's still unresolved. And so I just keep thinking about the family, you know, of, you know, these two people and having to deal with the grief. And also not only are they dealing with the pandemic that's going on, but now they have to deal with the fact that, you know, they can't have the funeral for this person in the way that they would want it. They fully mourn this person's death. I keep saying this person, Breonna's death, you know, and the way that they should be able to mourn for her. They can't even get the justice and the satisfaction that they need because, you know, we are just, in part, we're in this pandemic, but the other part of it is that the system is not set up for the victim. The system is set up to protect the police officers, even when the police officers and the administrative staff that directs the police officers and where they go and where they're spending their time and how many resources they're supposed to use and what kind of warrants they're supposed to have and what kind of permissions they're supposed to be able to take with them are not held accountable. So it's frustrating. I hope that on the outset of this that we start to see some really dramatic change. I also predict, and you can mark my words with it, I think a lot of Black and brown people are going to start picking up arms. Because if you can't be safe in your own house, you can't be safe, you know, think about, you know, what happened with Ahmaud, you know, a couple of months ago that we just broke, you know, 2 weeks ago. And the fact that he was running by himself, but running unarmed, what would happen if he was running armed? So I think a lot of people are going to get to a place where it's like, you know what, if the laws can't protect me, you know, we're going to have to pull some Malcolm X, you know, and have our own personal militia.
And the scary thing about even that, though, is just like, okay, let him be running armed. These dudes would definitely get off then because they're going to be like, oh, he's running with they would like change the narrative so easily against us. At least now, maybe there's a 5% better chance, at least since he wasn't armed, that there was really no reason for them to shoot him. Like, I feel like if he had a gun on him, they would have found a narrative, even if it wasn't correct, to put out there in the media and the Fox Newses of the world, the white folks of the world that just believe in them, that just don't like Black people. They would have ran with it, and he would have been guilty before he even got a chance to have the true story come out. You know, at least now, literally, he was just jogging. And that's the scary thing, that it's just like, I don't know what the answer is, because they craft the narrative whatever way they want to craft the narrative against us. You know, it sucks. Like, you're stuck. You're literally stuck. And so I guess maybe if you have a gun, at least shoot back then, damn it. I don't know.
I already told y'all, you know? You come for me, I'm taking some of y'all down. So what's it going to be? Because I'm not going down by myself. I'll tell you that. And I know there's a lot of people out there that feel the same way.
Yeah.
You know, this whole passive resistance, you know, malarkey. And it's like, oh, well, what is we going to do? I know what I'm going to do. I ain't going down by myself, so you can come after me if you want to, but it's going to be a struggle, and I'm going to take a couple of you out with me. And you can say whatever you want about me when I'm gone, because I'm gone. I'm dead. But I'm going to take some of y'all out with me.
So please be safe out there. Lock your doors. I don't know. It's just sad. I don't know the answer. I have no answer.
The biggest answer, the biggest answer is you have to get involved in your local government.
That part.
That's the answer. If you are upset and frustrated and sick and tired of these things that impact our communities, whatever your community is, and this is not just a Black thing, because there's a whole bunch of stuff that's happening to a whole bunch of other people. The best way for you to affect change is to affect policy. And the only way for you to do that is to make sure you're registered and you exercise your right.
It's true. So, but Yeah, and shout out to Sean Reed's family too. Like that happened literally when we were recording last week. The guy in Indianapolis that was in a high-speed chase and gets out of his car and was shot alive, and he was Facebook living it. And that's how we found that one out. So shout out and prayers and thoughts and everything to his family and that community up there, because that's another story within the last week, 2 weeks of us having to deal with police violence against Black people. So we definitely wanted to mention his name, that his name isn't in vain as well, because literally we didn't get a chance to say it last week because it occurred as we were recording. So, but another crazy situation that's happening in just like this quarantine life, COVID life is, I know, Dawon, you had a conversation with a friend over in Korea.
Well, what had happened was I'm scrolling through like IG and I come across this article in IG, and it reads, and this is from like the LGBT Sentinel and account. And it reads, South Korea struggles to contain new outbreak amid gay backlash, anti-gay backlash. And so in a sense, what they were saying is that the South Korean government and the media is kind of scapegoating the blame of the spread of coronavirus onto the LGBTQ plus community there. And so when I saw the article, like, I don't always want to believe the first thing that I read on the internet, because, you know, it is the internet. So, and one of my really good friends lives there. And in fact, if you guys remember, like back last year around October, I was in, me and Adam and a couple of his co-workers were in Seoul, and we got a chance to meet up with him and all that kind of fun stuff. So I did an episode from South Korea. And right after I did that episode, we met up with my friend that night and just kind of hung out. So I sent the article over to him. It's like, is this shit for real? Like, how are they going to be blaming coronavirus on gay people? And he said, girl, it's for real.
Yeah.
So there's that.
That's something.
And just to put some color around this, just so that you guys know, like my mom lived in South Korea for like, 7-8 years as a teacher. So she's doing the same thing that my friend was doing. And, this is a very real thing. In South Korea, they bring a lot of expats in. They bring a lot of foreigners in who can specifically teach English as a second language, in part because, they want their people to learn to speak English very well so that they can interact with the American economy, essentially, and British economy. So there are a lot of expats that are in there. And there's this neighborhood called Itaewon that is like what is basically like foreigner town, where they have like you can go and get fast food. You can go and get, there's like Starbucks there. They have tons of bars. It's basically where all the foreigners go out to party and have fun and like get a semblance of home and blah, blah, blah. But this is also where they have what they call the gay hill. And it's basically a hill. It like goes like this. And it has like 6 gay bars on it. It's like the only place where they have basically gay bars. They have like a couple of like hot spots throughout the city, but this is like the cluster.
The neighborhood, yeah.
This is true. Well, it ain't even a neighborhood because the gay people don't even live there. It's literally like the gay hill with these bars on the side, and they fit like maybe, I don't know, like 10, 15 people each. Like they're real tiny.
Yeah.
But it's nice for gay people to be able to congregate. And what people don't know is that South Korea is a very right, conservative, Christian, predominantly Christian community that is also Christian evangelical. And so a lot of that, the religious kind of like hyperbole gets baked into every aspect of their laws, their regulations, and their society. So it's weird that they bring these foreigners in to teach their kids how to speak English and blah, blah, blah. But then they also use every opportunity, and it's known to use every opportunity to kind of blame foreigners for a lot of things. And the killer part about it is that night when that shit was happening, they were like Itaewon usually has like maybe anywhere between like 5,000 to 10,000 people on like a weeknight. Okay. Like going to bars and all that kind of stuff. But there were like 60 foreigners that were in Itaewon. So
honestly, it sound like throughout the conversation, he sounded like, oh, this is crazy. But honestly, it sounded a lot like America.
Yeah.
Because I was like, God, I hope I'm not naive to think that shit couldn't happen here. That let them say we're all back out now, which the U.S. is opening up, and they think it's because of LGBT clubs or nightlife or whatever. I feel like that same narrative could get strung along here in America and then go after the gay community again, especially under old boy in the White House now. Like, let him tweet one random ass thing against the gay community saying it was us that's making COVID-19 go crazy. I feel like we're that close to the narrative being the same here in America, which is scary because it's just like, it's not true. Like, people can make up whatever they want to believe. And I feel sorry for a lot of the LGBT community in Korea, because it's literally the same thing that happened to the gay community here in the 70s and 80s, 90s, and today, honestly, the stigma behind AIDS. And it's just like, it just takes one person to say this in the media to kind of string it along, and then it comes to the US, then goes to Canada, it goes around the world of, oh, now it's another gay disease that they want to stigma of it. And it's sad and it's scary. And
the killer part about it is it has government backing. It's not just like you have these factions, like, you know, there's like these couple of people and you have this one news network that's doing it. Like, it is backed by the government. It's backed by mainstream media to use these kind of like, use their foreigners as a scapegoat. And the killer part about it is that, you know, the major outbreaks that happened, and even this one case of this one guy that went to Itaewon was a South Korean. It wasn't even a foreigner. It was a South Korean, a Seoul community member. You know, going out, just trying to get some poontang or something. Trying to get something. But you know,
they're doing the same
scary,
thing to the foreigners that we do here in America.
Yeah, and what's scary is that they have less protection. So foreigners have less protection. So, you know, like there was another article that my friend had sent me that was talking about how, you know, there are people that ask, have you been in this area? And unbeknownst to them, all this stuff was going on. But what happened was, if you say yes, then if you're a foreigner, they can actually fire you or demand that you quit. And in order for you to get another job in South Korea as a teacher, you have to have a letter of recommendation from your former employer. So if your former employer does not give you a letter of recommendation, you have to exit the country within like 15 days. So I
feel like it's like America Junior. I feel like they would.
It's a nightmare.
Like, especially with old boy in the White House, I let them do it to like Hispanics or whatever. Like, I feel like our government would find a way to back it, just like Korea, if old boy tweeted one bad thing. And it's sad, and especially if you're over there, it's literally like you're stuck between being exposed as a gay person if you're not out, or exposed as a person potentially spreading COVID. Like, you are literally, what's the lesser of the evil, you know, for them? It's just like, maybe you don't really have COVID, but now you expose that you were out in the gay nightlife the week the guy went to the bar, or now that you say, okay, yes, I am a gay man, I was out that night, et cetera, et cetera. Now potentially your family disowns you. You get that stigma over there because
the
of
whole
LGBT,
other thing.
You know, it's just like, what? How do you even decide? So people are probably not even going to come forward, because I know he was talking about how like everyone's tracked, which we're tracked here. People just don't realize it. Like, there's a lot of data points out there that you can see where people have been during this whole COVID thing. So, but it's just like, I'm sure people don't want to come forward either way. You don't want to come forward that potentially you help spread COVID again, and you don't want to come forward as an LGBTQ. And it also shows that just stay your ass home, how quickly things could change again, because they had like about a week or so there where they weren't having a lot of new cases. And it took one night of one person having COVID to go out, and now it's affected thousands of people again. You know?
Check your phones. I just sent y'all a text of the example of the tracking that they're able to do.
Oh yeah.
So like, they get text messages almost every day of people who have tested positive, And basically what the government is able to do, once that person tests positive, it goes to the federal government. The federal government goes back and tracks your entire movements for the next X whatever. And then they text it out to everybody in the entire country.
Okay.
This is where this person has been. Have you been here?
Stay your ass home.
And the killer part about it is Korea, and particularly in Seoul, which has like 11 million people. It's the largest city in the country. They have not had a stay-at-home order. Yeah. So they have not, even though they've been practicing social distancing and they've been recommending people to wear masks and things, they don't have like a stay-at-home order. So people are free to go and do whatever it is and you can go to the government and you can get a test anytime you want. Well, what comes with the consequences of taking the test
is privacy.
If it's basically what they're going to do is they're going to get your name and they're going to get your phone number in order to give you your test results. And what they're going to do is look at every place. So if you come up positive, they will see that you've been to Gay Hill. And then they're going to use that and post that out there on the, on the whatever, right, on their version of the internet, because it's locked down. Remember, I couldn't get porn when I was out there. So.
That's right. So,
but, it's crazy. It's like the upside down.
We're thinking of you. Whoever's listening out in Korea, we're thinking of you, because I know, especially if you're not out, how stuck you're probably feeling, and you don't want to get your family sick. You don't want to get your friends sick. You don't want to get your community sick. But also, they might potentially turn their backs on you if they found out that you are gay. And that's hard.
That's a whole other thing.
Hard. That is so hard. So we're thinking of you. But even here in the U.S., once again, it just shows that as like Atlanta is opening up and California is opening up and even parts of New York is opening up and things like that, it just takes one person to be sick to make this thing go crazy again. So please continue to wash your hands and legs and ass and everything that we say, because we don't have a vaccine. We don't have means to stop this disease right now. And
people are so thirsty to like fall into this narrative that, we need to get the economy back, which is bullshit, which is absolute, it's bullshit. I'm struggling. I can't get a haircut and I can't go to to a restaurant. And it's just like, okay, so you basically are so selfish that you go into the beach, you get in a haircut is worth 350, because they estimate another 350,000 people will die. Will not catch it, will die because all of these states are opening up earlier than what they should.
I agree. It's wild. So we know you're going stir crazy. We're on YouTube now, so subscribe to us. We'll entertain you for 2 hours here, almost damn near. But just be safe. Just be safe. It's not just about you. It's not just about your immediate family. It could literally get the neighbor sick, and you never know, they might hop their ass on a full ass flight to Michigan, and then now somehow they went to the Kroger up there and your loved one walked past them that day, just happened to walk past them, and it's in the air.
And the biggest debate right now, there's a lot of precautions that are being taken place at airports and things like that, where they're doing temperature testing and things like that. But the problem of it is that the vast majority of the people that are actually spreading the virus are the people that are asymptomatic, that don't have any symptoms. There are people that are walking around that are carriers of this virus that don't have a raised temperature, that aren't coughing, that, whatever. And they're going around spreading the virus. So you're not going to catch those.
Yeah. Because they said even the night the people were going to the bar, everyone had to wear a mask. They got their temperature checked at that location. And there was another third thing that they had to make people do to even get into that restaurant and bar. So they went in and people still got sick. So like you said, it's the asymptomatic people that aren't showing the fevers and stuff.
And it could be you out there.
That's true.
While you out there quarantining and being so thirsty to get to your hair, get your haircut, whatever, it could be you.
But Anyway, we're at the end of the episode here. Continue to stay safe. We know you're going stir crazy, but please be careful, be safe. Think twice if you need that haircut. If so, what are the measures that they're taking if you absolutely have to get out there? Because trust me, I want a haircut. I want a haircut. I'm in the struggle life with you. But is it worth it right now?
They make these things called hats and wigs.
Girl.
Get them.
That part. Get them.
And the reality of it is, like, people, for what? We ain't going nowhere.
Right.
We ain't going back to work. Like,
no,
okay. You know, like, so, and everybody's in the same boat. Like, if your hair is growing out and your color is you have 2 inches of root, everybody else is in the same goddamn boat. So just deal with it. Do the right thing. Be safe. Wear your mask. Stay your ass at home and watch us.
So,
we got a whole year episodes. You can catch us from all the way from when the Jesse Smollett case just broke all the way up to today.
That was a whole lifetime ago. It seems like, damn.
Right. You can hear our disbelief as we're uncovering that situation as it's coming out.
Golly, that was a lifetime ago. But subscribe, download, share with your friends, your family, your cousin and them. And we'll get through this together. So, yeah, wash your hands, your legs, and your ass. And I guess we'll see you next week.
Bye, y'all.